It's been some summer already, but it's only going to get better. talkSPORT were with you for every kick in Germany as the world saw Spain being crowned European champions. Now we are with you for every step of the way in France. For the greatest show on earth, welcome to Olympics Kickoff, live from Paris on talkSPORT.
Phelps holding Lochte, the greatest of all time, iconic figure, writes his way into the history books yet again.
I'm pleased for Paris to have it again. I think it's going to be one of those games that is changing the landscape of what it means to host a game.
Into the net it goes! Andy Murray, he's the first tennis player to win 2 Olympic singles gold medals.
The Olympics is really special for me, and I wanted to play at the Olympics. Again, I wanted to have that opportunity, and I'm glad I get to finish my career here.
A gold medal for Great Britain, a gold medal for Jessica Ennis.
Tom Daley, Matt Lee, something special they will require.
The Olympic Games is the pinnacle of any sports person's career.
I'm excited. I really believe we can get ourselves up there in the medal table.
Usain Bolt storming through, he takes it again, 9.64. Oh, he's retained his title in the most emphatic way.
I'm Max Whitlock, triple Olympic champion, and you're listening to the Olympic Games on talkSPORT.
Welcome then to the 33rd Olympiad of this modern era as Paris hosts its 3rd Olympic Games and its first for 100 years. Tonight's opening ceremony, which is underway, launches a 2.5-week feast of sport. 329 events in 32 sports across 35 venues. 205 nations, over 10,000 athletes descending on the capital of France. 320 of those, or 27 of those, are part of Team GB. 169 returning Olympians, 74 of which have won a medal. 158 will be making their Olympic debut. And Team Ireland too head to Paris with their largest ever selection of 133 athletes, all looking to make their mark. And we've got it all covered for you across the talkSPORT network. There are plenty of stories to be written and rewritten, and a few chapters perhaps to be drawn to a close as well. Someone that knows what it's like to write their own Olympic story joins me tonight here in Paris. It is double Olympic gold medalist Dame Kelly Holmes. How are you, Kelly?
Good evening, Natalie. I am really well. I've already enjoyed a wonderful day in Paris.
I know. I have heard all about this. You've been exploring already. So just give us a little sample, because we'll talk about it in a bit more detail later on, the sort of how you feel the city is ready for these games.
I think centrally it's very ready. Of course, it's a big moment for this opening ceremony with the security needs. One thing I did definitely notice, that on the ground it will probably be the safest place to be around this opening ceremony. And I think they're ready. I think each venue will have its own showcase, and that's where you really feel the games come alive. I was quite surprised with how quiet it was when I was travelling around earlier on, but maybe that's just because people know not to come too close.
Yeah, a lot of areas have been closed off because of this unusual opening ceremony that we are witnessing right now. And although we aren't down on the Seine where this is taking place, we are keeping right across it all. And actually where we are, there are loads of families who are keeping a keen eye on the parade with the screens that we have in front of us. There are also a few Team GB fans amongst us. Kelly has already been spotted. We are across everything for you tonight in Paris. We have a number of reporters stationed for us. So let's bring you our commentator, Michael Waydock, to see where he is and what he's witnessing.
Good evening. I'm at a vantage point looking at the Eiffel Tower and the Trocadero, where tonight's ambitious opening ceremony will conclude with a laser show, pyrotechnics and the lighting of the Olympic flame. Who gets to have that honour is still a closely guarded secret. talkSPORT's John Cushing is 6 kilometres from me at the start of tonight's Athletes Parade.
Team GB are going for gold, silver and bronze, but many start their Paris 2024 campaign standing by the River Seine here at a cement works before boarding their barge. It's why it's so quiet now. 327 British athletes are competing, but I reckon less than a third at best will take part in this once-in-a-lifetime opening ceremony. I've seen Sir Andy Murray going by, as well as, of course, the flag bearers Helen Glover and Tom Daley. Many more, though, opting to focus on their performance rather than this opening party. So the boats are on their way down the Seine into Paris, and that's where talkSPORT's Katie Shanahan is.
You join me on the Pont Alexandre Bridge overlooking the River Seine, where 85 boats will be taking the delegates from 200 nations in a sporting armada, if you like. 300,000 people are watching from bridges, riverbanks and even private boat parties. Let's head over to talkSPORT's Joe Ankia, who's soaking it all up with sports fans from across the world at the Olympic Fan Park.
Thanks, Katie. Yes, Joe here in Parc de Rive along the River Seine, one of the many fan zones for the opening ceremony. It is absolutely beautiful here. Aside from fans, hundreds if not thousands around me, the banks of the river night lights are starting to come on. Sunset is approaching. Le Louvre is just up the river. Notre Dame is on the other side. There's a little rain here, so of course the fans are in their jackets, but lots of colour, lots of flags, many nations, a few complaints about people being moved around from their seats, and of course the rain, but generally everyone excited for what's to come. Over to you, Natalie.
Joe, thank you very much. We'll regularly hand back then to Michael, John, Katie and Joe to give you that flavour of what this parade is all about. And we want you to get involved with us this evening. We want to know what your favourite memory of the Olympics that you've witnessed are. 03717 223344. That's the number to get in touch this evening. You can leave us a WhatsApp voice note if you want. You can also text us to 81089. And Kelly, as I say, let's get back to you and what you've witnessed so far on your walk, a marathon walk it seemed. I mean, you could be getting involved in the Olympics with how far you've walked today.
I know. How
tell
exciting.
us, what have you seen? What have you experienced? Because you've been here, what, 24 hours?
That's it. Arrived last night in Eurostar. Very lucky to not get any of those delays that we've heard about. So I decided that I'm going to just go on a mission to see where I can get to. So I went on the metro. I was worried that I was actually going to get anywhere because I have no French in my vocabulary whatsoever. So I used my instincts. Ended up coming out at the Arc de Triomphe. Now, that was a fascinating sight as I came up the steps from the metro because, of course, it's all closed around that area. And anyone that's come to Paris will know that that is full of traffic. That is like the biggest traffic block ever. But they've got a wonderful Paralympic logo on top, so that was a really nice touch for what's to come, of course. And then I managed to walk down a very open road, very lucky, obviously, to have a media pass, towards the what's it called? The Trocadero.
Which is where this parade will finish up.
Where this parade will finish up. So I got to witness where some of the ceremonies for the medal ceremonies will happen in front of that. And then right in front of me, the Eiffel Tower with the Olympic rings. I mean,
brilliant.
I was a pinch me moment, to be honest. So I think the setting is wonderful. I think, you know, the athletes being involved in the inner echelon of what happens at the games will be brilliant. Lots of people milling around. Everyone seemed quite relaxed. But I have to say, back to the security, there was thousands and thousands of military personnel, police all around. So anyone still coming here to Paris, you know, to be aware that you're going to be probably, once you get here, in one of the safest zones you can, fingers crossed.
Yeah, the police presence has certainly been raised in the sense that I think there's a total of 45,000 police officers on duty, along with military personnel and also security firms, around 20,000 people from security firms alone involved in making sure we have a safe games here in Paris. Now, we've been keeping across this parade, and an unusual parade. I'm sure many are aware of what's happening, but if you aren't, it's not your usual parade within a stadium. It is being held on boats that are taking down the different nations. Some are sharing boats, some are on their own, depending on the size of either their team or just the boat itself. And we've also had a performance from Lady Gaga, which was a great sort of nod to the sort of French Review, if you like, and the sort of music hall that you would have with French music. But what are you feeling about this actual parade?
Am I allowed to give the honesty?
I think
right
so.
now?
That's what we want.
At the moment, the vibe isn't anywhere near what a normal Olympic ceremony would be for an opening ceremony. Of course, it's in a different setting. You know, what you have to imagine is normally you go into an 80,000-seater stadium, you have all the music, the dances, the feel, the energy, the crowd, and the moment the teams arrive in that stadium in their droves, it's just a fantastic moment. Now we're seeing that split up on a 3.5 mile stretch. So for me at the moment, that vibe has not come across at all, because we're seeing those boats go down. There's only a representation of the athletes, because there's only so many that could probably fit on each of those boats, all want to actually do this part of the ceremony. And then by the looks of it, a lot of the acts are on the side banks. So you're only going to feel the bits that you can see. And we're obviously getting, by seeing close-ups on screens, you get a bit more. But where's the vibe, the energy and the excitement? I don't know. I do feel as the lighting goes down and the lights come up on the, or let's say the outside lights come out and the lights come up, like you see the fire coming off, that will then bring a bit more energy and vibe. The music obviously is going to great. They're going to have great acts, but who is going to see it like you would in a normal stadium is my question.
Yeah, it's probably more for the viewer watching on the screens, for example, than it might be for those lucky spectators that are witnessing something very, very different with this parade. They've definitely tried to do something quite unique, Paris. But yes, as of yet, it's not translating to us that we're getting that atmosphere, that vibe that you would normally get within that cauldron of a stadium.
Yeah, I'm sure, when you're outside, you'll feel it, you'll hear it, you'll see it. So I think the energy down at the river itself will be spectacular. And when you're watching at any point, whatever you see in front of you will be amazing, of course. So they've tried something new. It's always good for Olympics to rejuvenate, to bring something new to the pot, because that keeps the interest. It'll be interesting to hear what's going on the ground.
And we will find that out with our reporters who are situated across Paris and across the Seine to give us that flavour of what is going on. But what we have seen so far, we've seen can-can dancers. We have obviously seen many of the delegations already making their way down. We have seen parkour, bit of parkour.
We have. I think whoever the parkour person is could be the... This, I'm putting my money on the table here. Could be the person that's lighting the cauldron. Although it won't be that person, right?
No.
It's going to look.
I think this one's an actor or stunt person, whoever is in this costume, because they have hidden this identity. But certainly we do think it'll end up with that person clearly lighting the Olympic flame at the end. And they were on a zip wire earlier on as well. Right now there's a rock music concert going on with all sorts of different displays, which we will continue to keep you right up to date with. But it is getting underway then, this Paris 2024 Olympics, and we will be bringing you full live coverage of it right across the next 2.5 weeks.